Here we're going to look at example 5 from topic 27, where we use the quotient of powers property to solve equations with rational exponents. So they gave us a word problem here about terrariums. I just went right ahead and created the formula here. I'm not going to worry too much about how this formula is created or where we use the information from the question to create this formula. We're going to work on solving the actual equation itself. So just pretend a lot of this doesn't exist. Okay, you can use it if you'd like, but for this video, we don't really care about that information. We're just going to look at the equation. So we have 2 to the x power raised to the 1/3 power divided by 2 to the 1 power equals 2. Our first step is we're going to look at the power to power property. So we have 2 to the x raised to the 1/3. We're allowed to multiply those. So we would get 2 to the x over 3. And then this would be 2 to the 1/3, and 2 stays the same. Now in a problem like this, here we're looking at the quotient of powers property. So we're dividing our bases, right? We have 2 divided by 2, and then there's exponents. What you're allowed to do is, when you're dividing your bases, you're going to subtract your exponents. So we'd have x over 3 minus 1 over 3. So these two here are being subtracted. And then this would be equal to 2. Now I have some choices here. There's 2 things I can do. Well, first, the bases are the same, so I'm actually going to write this with an exponent of 1. And I have the same basis, so I can just set my exponents equal to one another. You could combine these two and then set the exponents equal, but we're going to combine them eventually anyway. So I'm just going to set x over 3 minus 1/3 to be equal to 1. Right? So this exponent has to be equal to that exponent since the bases are the same. I don't really like dealing with fractions, so I'm going to multiply everything by the common denominator. So I get 3x over 3 minus 3 over 3 equals 3. This 3 gets distributed. So I get x minus 1 is equal to 3 when I simplify or reduce my fractions. And then I would add 1, and x would be equal to 4. So it looked like a pretty complicated problem at first. The steps are actually quite simple. The new rule that is different than the other ones is from here to here, where these two, when we're dividing the bases, the exponents will be subtracted. So you do numerator minus the denominator exponent. That's all that's new for this one. Everything else are rules that we've followed before. The powers to powers, common denominators to clear fractions, setting exponents equal to one another. So you should be good with this. Just remember your quotient of powers property. If you are dividing bases, you have a fraction, the exponents are subtracted.